What's happening, guys? It's your girl, Mina. You guys already know what it is. First and foremost, happy Saturday. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. Great end to the Everton versus Spurs game. Big up to my bro, Saeed. How you doing, first and foremost?
Yeah, all good, all good. Can't complain. United didn't play. You know what I'm saying to you? So no disappointments today. Obviously, we've got our game tomorrow. Tottenham have dropped points. So whether that helps United, I don't think so, to be honest, because we got to do our own job. You know what I mean? So it's still a big gap anyway. But yeah, other than that, all good. And yeah, looking forward to the show.
Firstly, you made a good point. I can enjoy my Saturday, innit? Because United are not playing. That's always the one struggle to have on a Saturday.
Exactly.
Play on a Saturday. Although it just means if we lose tomorrow, that's my week ruined. Monday ruined. Tuesday ruined. I'm just gonna be angry about it.
Seriously, like I think we'll touch on it a little bit, but West Ham are unbeaten in the last 6-7. Draw specialists. They draw.
Are you scared though? Are you a bit fearful?
No, you know what it's United. It's like I've been disappointed so many times. It's like just prove me wrong, innit? Or just show me what you can do. So like it's nothing that I'm scared. I'm not nervous. I'm only scared if it's like finals or big games, like away, like these kind of games. I'm not scared because I'm like, I just don't know. United just they will either surprise you or disappoint you or the latter. You know what I mean? So I'm one of them where let's see what United brings on Sunday, because we've done this against Villa. We came back against Villa, remember? We lost the next game against Forest, did we? Or something like that. Did we lose that? I don't know what happened. But yeah, Forest. So then it's like nothing will surprise me. And our Old Trafford record is a bit yo-yo-y. A couple of draws, couple of losses, you know what I mean, and whatnot. So yeah, man, it's let's see what they can bring. You know what I mean? It ain't easy, as they say, right?
It ain't easy, for real. You frequent Old Trafford, obviously, for the home games.
Yeah.
What's the atmosphere like this season in terms of when United are chasing a goal, or they're chasing a result?
It's restless. It's restless. I can't lie to you. I've never seen Old Trafford this restless in a long time. I think you know what it is. Fans have just had enough of the bullshit of the players, like not tracking back, not giving. Not doing the simple things. Like that's why they were like, the Rashford thing didn't surprise me, because the fan base was on him. He wasn't tracking back. There was a pass where I think Evans could have made, and he threw a tantrum, and obviously the fans didn't like that because they were like, "Yo, listen, like you still got to keep trying." You know what I mean? Like stop what you're doing in it. So I feel like the fan base now, they're so restless, they're so panicking. Like you don't know when the game's kind of over. You don't know when we miss chances as well. That's one thing as well that the fan base have had enough with, is the fact that we miss so many chances. We miss so many times to play the ball in between the lines. We're very, very kind of slow, ponderous. So I feel like it's just been restless. But also, they've been like the 12th man. Like without the crowd, honestly, like I think I made a tweet. Was it against Chelsea or Villa? I think it was Villa. The crowd was on United's side, like they were on it, and that helps. Oh, Luton Town are losing. Oh, Leeds. I was it Brighton are 1-0 up. Yeah, but I feel like for me, it's one of them where the crowd have helped the team so much to kind of get to the kind of end line. So yeah, it's been restless, but that's how we are as fans. So it only reflects the game and the players as well.
Especially when morale is down, or it's not that high for the players, you kind of need the fans. You need the fans to kind of lift you up and kind of drag you through when you don't really have much more to do that. Let's talk about Rashford, because obviously you mentioned him, got his goal against Wolves, could probably be in contention to start against West Ham. Obviously had that little disciplinary issue. I never really heard your thoughts about that. What was your thoughts of that whole disciplinary situation and just how it's been dealt with by the club? Because there was reports after that said that players were disappointed with the way that it's handled, and it kind of feels like Rashford's given a free pass to do what he wants because he apologized.
Yeah, I think ultimately, obviously hindsight now, everybody's like, I remember the game against Wolves, everyone's like, Rashford haters in the mud. Saeed, what you said about Rashford now? I was like, listen, it's not about scoring goals. It's about like the principle of what you did. You should have been dropped. Same with other players, like the way he's been dealt with. I think for me, Ten Hag, I feel like it's a bit. I don't know. I think it's been a bit hypocritical. I think ultimately the situations are different, by the way, between Sancho and Rashford. I'm not going to compare the situations, but what I am going to compare is the fact that because Ten Hag is under pressure, I feel like he's having to play him. Had United been winning games, I'm not so sure if Rashford would have played. I really, really don't, because, I think the manager's under pressure. Rashford, what he did for me, and I don't get the idea that he was kind of dropped for the Newport game. I don't think he was. He was just not not well enough to play football, or he wasn't at the required standards for what Ten Hag wants. So I look at it in a situation where I'm like, Rashford for me should have been dropped. I think that would have been a sensible situation. I don't think anybody would have said, yo, Rashford not being dropped wasn't the right thing to do. Like, everybody would have agreed with that. Obviously, the manager in this situation wants to back Rashford. It's his favorite guy. It's one of his guys that helped him last season. So it kind of didn't surprise me in that aspect. But I think for me, sometimes when you're a player and you're seeing this and you're hearing this and you're looking in the dressing room, you're thinking, rah, how come he's getting a bit of, letting off, but then I don't get that situation there. It's not good for the dressing room because it feels like they can do whatever they want to do and they don't feel there's no repercussions from it. You see what I'm trying to say? So,
yeah, I hear that. It's interesting though, because my standpoint on it was, I think the Sancho and him situation different, him and Ronaldo situation different. I saw a report that said that Rashford actually reached out to Ten Hag to say that he'll travel from Manchester to Newport just to be there. He doesn't have to be in the matchday squad, but he'll come to the game. And they told him to stay back and train at Carrington. And I really think I think Rashford this season is in I don't want to say a mental lapse, but it just seems like mentally his brain ain't there. It's not there in football right now. And
no.
Like off the field problems that can impact him. But it is a bit concerning. I'm not gonna lie, it is a bit concerning, especially after you got a big contract. I think 100% Eric Ten Hag had something to do with it. I think Eric Ten Hag wanted him to have an extension. He wanted to keep him. Like you said, he is one of Ten Hag's, I think, key components to that front line, because United have never said, by the way, United have never been linked to going out to buy a left winger. I don't know if you've realized, but especially like every time a transfer window comes up, we hear the same topic of discussion: midfielder, a right winger, a fullback, a centre, because it's Rashford's side. That is Rashford's spot. And it does cause a bit of unrest in the dressing room, especially when other players might look at the situation and be like, well, if I was to do something like that, I would get shunned from the team or anything. I think what Ten Hag did was for himself, in the fact that I don't want to say he was being selfish, but I do think that Ten Hag played Rashford because he needed him. He needed him.
Of course, that's why I'm like, I'm not surprised by that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not surprised Rashford is played. I'm not surprised by that at all. And that's something that, for me, that if I'm a player in a squad, that wouldn't really sit right with me, because that means you're only playing him because you're under pressure. But I think the players, if they win the game and he scores a goal, it's vindicated, isn't it? He's back in the team. He's one of our guys. Like, is Garnacho going to score? Is Anthony going to score? Probably not. Rashford's probably the most likely to score. We're lacking in goals. We need goals. We need, you know what I mean? So it's weather as well. Listen, Old Trafford's a different crowd as well. Old Trafford's not the same as an away crowd. Away crowd, they'll support you through thick and thin. Away crowd will never boo you. They'll never. You know what I mean? It's very, very rare that they will get onto you as much as the home crowd. The home crowd, they see your habits every single week. You know what I mean? You're in the house, excuse me. You're in the house. You know what I'm trying to say to you? So it's one of them where what you do outside the house, you can't do in the house. You know what I mean? Like, you may be able to wear shoes in someone else's house, but when you come to your house, it's like, no, take your shoes off the door. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the crowd in that aspect, they'll know his bad habits. So he's got to produce it there as well, which is going to be a difficult game with low block. Against Kufal, I expect him to cook him, but you just never know with this United team. So, yeah, it's going to be a tough battle. But I think with Rashford, it's again, like, we always have this conversation about Rashford. He's in his comfortable zone, he's scoring goals, and all of a sudden, something won't click. He'll get pissed off, and then it'll be like everyone's onto him again. I feel like in that aspect, I do feel sorry for him in that aspect, because I feel like the spotlight in that aspect is always onto him, like, regardless of what he does. But then again, you're on his wages, isn't it? And that is something that, you know what I mean, you can't stop. You know what I mean? You signed the contract, you wanted to be the poster boy of United, you are the poster boy of United, so this is it, isn't it? This is what it is. Simple. You got to deal with it.
Talking about the way like Ten Hag dealt with it, because I think that it could have backfired. If Rashford had a shit performance, people would have been onto Ten Hag and they would have been onto Rashford, regardless of whether United won or not. I think getting the goal helped, but also the way he played. I think there was still moments I felt like tracking back, it just wasn't 100%, but it was definitely more than what he's been given in the last 5,
Yeah,
6,
yeah, yeah.
7 games. It was definitely more than that.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's
yeah.
definitely, it's like a step up. But talking
Of
about how
course.
Erik ten Hag has dealt with it, do you think that he's had, because I've seen reports suggesting that it's not just Erik ten Hag that has been responsible with dealing with this issue. Apparently, senior ups at Manchester United have also been involved with
Oh,
rectifying this Rashford situation. Because I say this all the time. I think Rashford is a prime example of what Manchester United would want in a player, in terms of a player that's come through the academy,
yeah, of
Manchester born and
course.
bred, been there for a long time, has never really asked to leave, bar the rumors to PSG last season, which I think that was probably just his camp putting it out there to see what people react,
Yeah, yeah.
how people react. But I think Rashford has been, unfortunately, an example of what Manchester United want from a commercial perspective as well. Because you look at players to have come through the academy in the last 20 or so years.
Yeah,
Rashford is probably the face of that.
yeah.
Rashford
100%.
is probably the face of that.
100%. Him, obviously, the situation with Green was different, innit? But him, in terms of born and bred, Manc born and bred, I feel like for sponsors as well, commercially, United couldn't mess another talent up as well, man. Like, they had to get this one right. Like, it wasn't, it wasn't good as well. The fact that the son got involved and then that lady did an interview and then, him in Belfast, it
It
wasn't good for the
sells,
image
innit?
of Man
That kind
United.
of shit sells. Like
Yeah,
that's the things that sell in the tabloids, unfortunately.
exactly, and you know what? I just think United didn't want a situation where I do agree with you. Ten Hag must have been spoken to by the official, sorry, the board members and say, listen, this one here, we need to bed this quickly. So if either he says sorry and you're okay with that, or you want to drop him, but if you drop him, you know you're gonna get more eyes on you. So what do you want to? Where do you want to go with this one? You know what I'm saying to you. So in that regards, I do agree with you in that aspect. But I'm just kind of glad it's all over with now. I think we can move on now and let's just carry on the season because, like I said, we've got big issues on and off the pitch. We've got big issues in terms of still the ownership situation carried on. Omar Barada, sporting director. We've got players who are fighting for their careers at United. There's a lot of situations to kind of talk about in that aspect. So Rashford was always like a side story. Same with Anthony. Same with
What do
Sancho.
you think is
But
the
that's what
biggest
Man
issue
United
that
are.
we
We're
have?
Netflix FC.
What do you think is the biggest issue United have on the pitch?
Oh, I think mentality is the biggest issue. I think the lack of consistency is the biggest issue. I think Ten Hag's inability to drop players is an issue for me, including one of the keeper. I think I still think the balance of the team is still a bit missing for me. I know we play good football against Wolves, but I think sometimes it's a contrast every single week. So that for me is good as well. And also, as a fan base, we're always fluctuating in terms of how we feel about players. 1 minute we think this guy's good, then we always bash him the next minute. Like I feel like nobody's level-headed about their players, and maybe that comes from the fact that we're such a young team. But I look at United, I'm like, you never know where we're going to stand. Can we kick on a run? Can we get on a run as well? Can we build momentum? What constitutes a success this season? There's so much issues. I think for me is glaring at United, and the biggest one is obviously just having that consistency for me. That one is the biggest issue, big issue. Can we get on a run? Can we go to games feeling confident? You know what I mean? There's some difficult games in February. Got this game, we've got Villa, then we've got Luton away, which is going to be very, very difficult, I think, for me. Then I think we've got Fulham, and then we've got the Manchester Derby as well after that. So, it's one of them where, and then we got March. I don't know if you see March here, but March is difficult as well,
Let me look at
So
it, because I know that we got City on, I think it's like the 3rd of March, just before Ramadan. So I
yeah,
gotta
yeah,
pray
yeah.
extra hard
We
that we
can we
don't
can
get
we can we
embarrassed.
can we can we can swear a little bit before, even though we shouldn't swear anyway. But
But is
hey,
it, you
listen,
said March, but even April is interesting. So after City, we got Everton at home, we got Sheffield United, Brentford away, then we got Chelsea and Liverpool back to back.
yeah,
We got
I know.
Chelsea and Liverpool back to back. Then after that, we got Bournemouth and then Newcastle. And then towards the end of the season, we're ending with Arsenal and then Brighton away. Away is our last game of the season. Arsenal is our last home game of the season. God
Oh
forbid
shit.
Arsenal is still in some sort of title race. God
That's
forbid.
yeah. That's what I was gonna say. Like, if they are, but I think even without him, I think they still want to beat us as well. Especially remember last season. Remember last season when we won there, they were not happy about that. So it's gonna be a difficult end to the season. I really, really do. So I don't know. Like I think for me, top 4 should have been the aim, but is it a failure if we don't get top 4 to the fan base? I don't know what this fan base thinks. Let us know in the chat here. If United don't make top 4, is it a failure? Because from what I see on the timeline, maybe that's the wrong place to go, but I think it's acceptable now if you don't make top 4. It's all good. Managers should still stay.
I think making top 4 after spending that much money in the summer transfer window for me is ridiculous. Like, I think a lot of people look at it, and I'm understanding of the whole injury thing. Like, Ten Hag has actually not had his most senior team or his starting 11 that he wants. I think the first game of the season, Wolves, second season game, Spurs, and then just now against Wolves. That's when Lisandro, Casemiro, all of them guys have actually come back. All that's missing is Mason Mount. And like I've said time and time again, I don't know how Mason Mount changes anything, but I would like to see, because Ten Hag has placed emphasis on his fully fit team. Yeah. And I understand that if people say, oh, but we've had injury problems throughout the whole season, and I get that. But I think looking around the league, I'm looking at Villa, they're in a top 4 race. I'm looking at Brighton, who have not been as good as they were last season, but have had spells in the season where they've been playing good football.
Where are we in the league now? Let me see where we are in the league.
I think we're 7th.
No, we're back to 9th now because Brighton and Newcastle are winning.
Flip it up.
It's our goal difference, man. Goal difference is killing us, man.
Goal difference. And you know what? I was saying this after the Wolves game. I said, we score 3, we concede 2. We score 4.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
3. So that goal difference is never going down.
It's never going down, man. It's gone down by 1, but it's not gone down by a lot, man. You know what I mean? I'm just looking at Brighton here. Brighton, in terms of their fixtures, let me just check now, because you know what it is, you got to analyze everyone's fixtures. Like, even Newcastle, let me just see what Newcastle are dealing with right now.
The thing is, no one's talking about Newcastle, who are not doing that good this season. They crashed out.
They're not. But all of a sudden,
they're very low in the table. But no one's talking about them because of injuries, because they've had a lot of injuries, and that's why sometimes it's hypocritical. I feel like it's hypocritical sometimes, because Ten Hag can't use the excuse of injuries, but other managers can. Big up to United, Nate, for the super chat. Says, I'm very worried about our team in this moment. We conceded twice against Newport, 3 against Wolves, but Kobe scores a worldie. So be positive. What do you think of that? Do you think that's a valid?
You know what? It's one of them side stories, man. It's always like this, Yanazai, Rashford, when we were shit, Greenwood. We always have that sub story of, like, you know what I mean? Like, where a player from the academy gives us a bit of hope. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's what's happening right now. Like, Kobe is making us feel better that we've got some sort of hope. Garnacho, in a sense of, he's attacking and whatnot. Like, he gives us a little bit of hope. But it's true, man. I don't think it's I think there's a lot of deficiencies. I think the game, because of the way Kobe scored, I think we're a bit like, we're not as negative as we should be. But I think ultimately there's still glaring problems as to why we're conceding goals, as to why we're not resolute at the back, why we're crumbling. The substitutions are a bit still off for me. Like, it's something that I feel like for me is 1 second. Someone's at my door.
Oh, is gonna be. We have to go to an ad break. Guys. I'm joking. I'm sure he'll be back. If you lot are new to the channel, if you're not new to the channel, you know that I always have people knocking on my door as well whilst I'm streaming. Big up to everyone that's in the chat. Be sure to hit the like button if you've just come through. Let's try aim for 100 likes.
They got the wrong door. They got the wrong door.
Oh, wrong door.
Yeah, wrong door.
But yeah, no, it's interesting what United Nate says, because I agree with the part that Kobe scores a worldie, so be positive. I don't think we would have been that gassed if Kobe had scored like a tap-in. Like, if it was like a scramble in the box and it was a tap-in. But I think it was because of the level of the goal was
the level of the goal, exactly. If it was a scrapping, I think everyone would be like, nah, man, flipping out, we got lucky, man, we caught live, But because it was a thingy, then that's where I think we're kind of like a bit more positive about it. You feel me? Like, I mean, it was so good to kind of feel like it's a good feeling in that aspect.
How do you feel about this Kobe thing? Because I've seen rival fans getting onto United fans, as always, about hyping up Kobe. I've seen people saying that. I was watching Saturday Social this morning. I don't know if any of you lot watch it, but I was watching Saturday Social.
I see something on Twitter. But they put him, that guy, Chris MD, put him like...
Yeah. So they had to start, sell, bench 3 players. It was Connor Bradley, Lewis Miley, and Kobbie Mainoo, and he put sell Kobbie Mainoo. I think it was start Connor Bradley and bench Lewis Miley. But then he did say when I was watching it, he did say he ain't watched Kobbie Mainoo much. So
yeah, but then he said he ain't watched him for like he's been starting for the last 2 months. So what have you been watching?
So what is your view on just the whole Kobbie situation? Do you think like the fan base is hyping him up a bit too much? Because I'm seeing people saying he's the next Paul Pogba. I don't think. But
no, he don't play like Paul Pogba.
I don't think he's anything like Pogba. I think they are two different styles of players.
He ain't got athleticism of Pogba.
Seedorf is a bit. I can take that comparison, but I just let him be. For me, it's like just let Kobbie Mainoo be Kobbie Mainoo.
Yeah.
Like, why do we have to compare him to people and say he's the future this or he's the future that?
Yeah. No, you know what? I big up Taylor as well in the chat, man. Big up Taylor, man.
Big up to Taylor. Legend. Big up to everyone in the chat. Apparently, it's 1-1 Luton. They just equalized.
1-1 now.
Yeah, someone in the chat just said it's 1-1. But yeah, what's your thoughts on the Kobbie thing and just in terms of, do you think United need to keep him on the ground? Because I think it's quite similar to if you guys watch Senegal in AFCON. There's a player there, and he's 17, 18 years old, had a great AFCON under 17, then made it to the senior team, and the manager left him out in the third game of the group stages because he was like, the media's hyping him up too much and I don't want it to get to his head. Do you think it's something like that with Kobbie?
Nah, he's, you know what? I've heard a few like stories about him. I actually know his physio. It's called Naz. And I spoke to him not yesterday, the day before. I said, yo, man, that Kobbie Mainoo, man, how is he like? He said, yo, he's just down to earth, man. Proper down to earth.
He gives me down to earth vibes.
Bro, he's down to earth, man. And you know what it is for me? He's from Stockport, and I'm from Stockport as well, yeah. Stockport's a wild place, so I'm kind of surprised, yeah, he's actually from Stockport, man, because, yo, Stockport's crazy. You know what I mean? But he just sounds like he's just so down to earth. He's calm. You know what I mean? You know what's magic? I actually thought he was French, you know, when I first known about him. I thought, is he French or something? Is he come from like, you know,
he can't be English. He can't be
I thought, yo, is he French? What? You know what I'm saying to you? Like, is it 2-1 Luton now or 2-1 to Newcastle?
Let me check what the scores are because people are saying the scores in the chat, but they're not saying what it is.
I think, you know what, man? Like, he's just so mature at his age. Like, it's crazy when you deep it, like, how mature he is at his age. You know, it's one of them where I'm like, you know, fair play to him, man. You know, fair play to the kid. And, you know, Nuruddin knows his dad. I think he's kind of good close with his dad as well. So, and he said like, yo, he's a top kid and that and and he's so humble. And you know what, man? It's one of them where, you know, he's just a good lad. He don't really like, you know, he's not really a flashy guy. He's not really someone who's got an ego. He just wants to learn. He looks like he respects people. You know, so man, you know what?
Someone in the chat said Nuruddin has links with everyone.
Yeah, that's well connected. You know what they call him?
He's a likable guy as well.
You know what they call Nuruddin in Manchester?
What do they call him?
Guess what they call him? They call him the bus stop. You know why they call him the bus stop?
Because everyone comes and stops to go through him, basically.
So you have bus stops every 10 minutes, right? So everyone stops him every 10 minutes because basically people know him. He knows everyone, so that's why they call him the bus stop.
Oh, right, 2-0 Fulham. That is still jokes. That is funny.
That's why they call him that. That's why they call him that. The
Kobbie thing is interesting. Where do you think he should play? Like, do you care if he plays for Ghana or if he plays for England?
Nah, well, I couldn't care less. Like, generally, I couldn't care less. As long as he plays for Manchester United, I couldn't care less. Obviously, for me, with England, not every England talent makes it at such a, like, yes, it's Bellingham, but I don't think he has that kind of like, you know, maybe this is something for another whole conversation, but does he have that kind of PR behind him and whatnot, and like that superstar status just yet? Like Bellingham,
I don't want that.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? I don't want it for him. So I'm like, you know what? Go play in Ghana where, you know what I mean, it's quite, you know, everyone's level-headed maybe. And
bro, I'm sorry, yeah. No disrespect. Shout out to all the people from Ghana, yeah. But the way Ghanaians have been ripping into their national team for dropping out.
No, I'm saying though, in terms of hype around them. To be fair, do it.
See, look at Kudus had his first AFCON this year, yeah, and they crashed out in the group stages. He went and did the commentary, the post-match interview, the press conference, yeah, and people were ripping into not him, but like Jordan Ayew and the more experienced players because they were like, "Why are you making a young kid go and do it after his first tournament?" If I'm not joking, if Kobbie plays for either team, I think the spotlight will be on him. I'm like you in it. I don't care. I don't care.
I don't care,
I would like
honestly.
for him to play for Ghana. I'd like to play for him to play for England. I think he'll play for England.
Yeah, I think to be fair, he plays for England now. So
Yeah.
I don't know why it's one of them situations where he has to make the decision. It's not down to Ghana. It's down to him.
No, Ghana have to try court him, innit? They have to try seduce him to come and play for like they have to sell the project to him and all of that stuff. England have to just try reiterate to him that he's got a spot in the team. I mean, I've seen people saying, me included, I've been saying it too. Bellingham, Rice, and Kobe Mainoo should be starting in the Euros.
No, I'll be honest with you. I don't think he needs to start in the Euros. I don't want him going to the Euros. I'll be bubble wrap him, like, you know, get him in the cotton wool and, you know, like put him stay home.
Injury as well, yeah, because of his
injury. Like, stay home, man. Like, this is me being selfish, United fan, but stay home pre-season and we go again next season. Because what's going to happen is, yeah, I'm not saying kids get burned out, yeah, but it gets a bit overwhelming.
True.
And young players can be overwhelmed too much too soon. And I feel like for me, it's one of them where mentally he might get burned out. You know what I mean? So I think for me, he should stay, have a relaxing summer, and then pre-season, next season, we go ahead. You know what I mean? That's the way I kind of look at it, you know, because I think, yeah, man, I don't want it for him. And you know what's happening in it with England fans, and you know what it's like in it with certain fan bases and whatnot. Like, it's not good, man. It's not good. So but then again, Southgate might do it just to get United fans on board. Imagine Southgate gets a United fan base recognition, like, you know, in terms of, yo, Southgate's the man, Southgate's the one. It will just start going ahead. So yeah, you don't want to get that impression that, you know, it's one of them. Yeah, look at Pedri. Remember Pedri?
Yeah, Pedri's a good example.
Pedri, look at him, and he's got so many injuries now as a result. You know, so and Gavi's is similar.
That's true. But let's talk a bit about Bruno Fernandes, because yesterday on your stream, that was the funniest stream I've probably been on in a minute.
That was. If you haven't watched that stream, guys, honestly, crazy.
Go watch it. Is debate night. Yeah, we talk about Bruno, obviously, and I ask people this all the time. Bruno, Rashford. If United were to sell one in the summer, hypothetically, which one do you think would be the more realistic one to sell? But you have to take into consideration a lot of factors, not just age and you know the amount United can sell. But which one do you see out of those two more likely being part of the Manchester United project for the next couple of years?
What, Rashford and Bruno? Obviously, Rashford, in terms of his age and whatnot, is a bit younger in that regard. So I'll probably say Rashford, but I'm not gonna lie to you. I think for me, if I were to sell one, oh my days, man. For me, would we play better without Bruno Fernandes, man? If we had 2 8s and that midfielder's a bit more, like, you know, a bit more technical, a bit more, you know, composed. Rashford, would he look as bad? I would sell more Bruno Fernandes more, to be honest with you. Like, and I think he would get more credibility in other leagues. In the Spanish league, he could still play there. But if you had a choice, both of them would go. But you know, you got to keep one. But yeah, I think, you know what it is for me is with Bruno Fernandes. I just look at him and I'm like, he epitomizes United in the last kind of like couple of years. And that, yeah, he gets his stats and whatnot. But I feel like as a team, we don't play well. You know,
I feel like Bruno gets scapegoated a lot. You know, I feel like even when it's not his wrongdoing, somehow Bruno, you know, like how McTominay came on the other day and Maguire came on, and then United went from 3-1 to 3-3, and some people were still finding a way to blame McTominay and Maguire. Even Maguire, I thought that was stretching it a little bit to blame Maguire, but I think it's similar with Bruno. Sometimes I feel like even when United do play well, or he's playing a bit better than what is usually expected, he is still a scapegoat. He is.
You know what it is though, but I feel like that's going to be the conversations for a while. Like, I just don't like his erratic nature. I don't like the fact that he can't have it's not got an element of control in him. I feel like he's just always forcing things. I feel like that for me, it just really, really winds me up. It really, really winds me up. You know, so I'm looking at the situation with Bruno Fernandes, and I'm like, next year, if we're planning to play a different style of football, or if, say, we get a new manager, can Bruno Fernandes be part of that as well, that new project? Will he? You know, if he's the captain now, a manager who comes in can't get rid of the captain, maybe, can he? You know, so that's a difficult situation that we have. So I just look at it from a point of view of Bruno Fernandes. Yeah, he gets you assists and goals, but the way he is as a footballer, I just don't agree with that person for me. I don't agree with him as a footballer and the way he plays. So maybe it's going to come to style, and maybe it's going to come to subjective opinion. But, you know, when you play in that position, you've got to cater towards him. You got to cater towards Rashford, and that for me is like, I'm just kind of tired of that, and that's where my head is at with Bruno Fernandes, is that we're always going to cater towards him, and can we keep doing that? I'm not so sure, Miller. I really am not so sure.
I feel because I remember when United signed Bruno. When was it? Nearly four years ago in January.
5 years ago.
Was it 5?
2019 January.
It was 2020. No, it was COVID. Just before COVID.
Oh yeah, to be fair, he came in
January 2020.
So 4 years
and then
ago.
The pandemic happened a few months later. I was so gassed. We were meant to get him the summer before, though. You're right. We were meant to get him 2019 as summer.
But what happened? Yeah, they were skeptical about his actual ability to hold on to the ball, and that was the situations there. Very erratic. That's what we're saying basically. The style of Bruno Fernandes they were unsure of, and obviously they had to, because at that time we had Jesse Lingard, and then we were Pereira. Like it was one of them where we had to go and get him. There's no choice.
Yeah, we had to. I can't believe he came to
football club. I don't think anybody was bothered. You know what I mean? Like when he came in, it was a breath of fresh air. But as you start to kind of understand his game, you're like, yeah, not sure.
I was watching Maddison today in the Spurs Everton game, and obviously they play in similar roles, even to a point where Maddison was dropping into the back line to pick the ball up and just create from there, but not create spamming long balls, but it's more so just get the passes going. Once you get the passes going, inevitably space will open up. And it was the chance that he created for Richarlison, which was it's like the bare minimum. If you lot watch the game, the second goal for Richarlison, it was the bare minimum from Maddison, but it was just a little outside of the boot pass to him. And prior to that, he tried to find Richarlison by just simply slowing the game down when he was going forward and then playing the right pass. And sometimes I look at him and I think Bruno does do that. I'll be honest, Bruno does do that. But I think Bruno does because when you do a lot of bad things and then you do a few good things, the erraticness will outweigh the positive side.
Yeah, of course.
And that's why people struggle to get behind it. But I do genuinely feel like sometimes Bruno, unfortunately, is a scapegoat for a lot of the issues that is.
Do you think that question there then, if he's still being a scapegoat, is that to show you we're gonna have that conversation about Mason Mount? We're gonna have that conversation about Mason Mount. We just need to get unified ballers. We need to get ballers that are just common knowledge they're good footballer. Common knowledge they're good. Common knowledge everyone rates Bueno. Common knowledge most people rate Hoyland or whatever, or in that aspect, or let's say for example certain players it's just common knowledge. Brian gone 2-0 up against Crystal Palace.
So I don't know about it being common knowledge. I think when you look at the scope of the type of players that United have, for example, Mount coming to Manchester United for me is a transfer that will never make sense. Just because I didn't see how he fit in, and also I didn't think United, for the problems that Man United had in that midfield, I don't think that was
3-0 now. Wow. So I'm saying we can't even get 3-0 at home, man. Flipping hell, man. It's
can't even beat Palace 3-0.
No, Palace. Yeah. Are you from South London area or?
I'm not.
So I was
gonna
say
I'm not.
Yeah. So I was gonna say Crystal Palace. I think they could get relegated. I think they might get relegated. I really do. I really, really do.
They're
I think
14th right now.
What? They deserve it. They need to hold that. They need to hold it.
Listen, what's your thoughts on Elise?
Elise gets relegated. We go and get him. United fans need Elise to get relegated. They need Crystal Palace to get relegated so the price can go down.
But do you genuinely think Elise is a solution to what United need?
On the right wing, yeah, because we'll sell Anthony. We have to sell Anthony this summer. Sell Anthony. Give me money for Anthony. If we can't, what's mad about this situation is that Anthony will make it his number one priority to not be sold. He will make it his number one priority not to be sold, because he's at United, at one of the biggest clubs in the world.
He's got serious PR as well. He's got serious PR.
Serious PR. You're not going to be loaned. If he goes to, I don't know, Benfica, you're not going to be loaned, bro. You're not going to be loaned. You step down from Man United. 2 clubs you step down from, United and Man City. Sorry, United and Real Madrid. You go anywhere else, I'm talking about as a player's status, it's bro.
He's saying anywhere he goes is a step down if he leaves.
Well, United. Where would he go now? He won't go. He might go back to Ajax. He'll probably go back to Ajax.
I don't even think Ajax would. It would be actually. It's similar to what Juve did to us with Pogba. How we bought him for however much, 90 million,
or
and then
Sancho
they took him back again on a free.
Yeah.
Or Sancho at that point is criminal. Anthony could. Anthony could maybe play in the Egyptian league. I think he could be good in the Egyptian league.
Wow,
And that's not an easy league.
Maybe South Korean league. Maybe South Korean league with
Jesse Lingard. I
with
don't know,
what's
man.
it called?
With Jesse Lingard. It's interesting with Elise because I've seen that we've obviously been linked to him. Apparently, Ineos like him as well. They like him quite a lot. I just don't know if that's the kind of right winger that United need right now. But mainly, maybe I feel like that. I'm a bit skeptical just because of I don't know what United's identity is. I don't know what they're trying to do in build up. I don't know what they're trying to do in the front line. Don't know what they're trying to do up front. He would definitely be an upgrade on Anthony. But where does that leave Ahmad? That's the question. Where does that leave Ahmad?
No. Listen, I wish I could, you know what I mean? Like, it's for me, with Ahmad now, I feel like he has to, and you know what? Big up to him for being a good professional, yeah. But I don't know if you've seen him, but he's looking happy. He's happy for everyone else. Like,
I think he's happy also to be fit. He's fit. He's been injured for so long. I think he's just happy to be fit for what.
He's happy to be fit. He's happy to be, you know what I mean, like just to kind of, you know, be around everyone and be surrounded with everyone, etc., etc. You got the situation with Palestri. You know what will happen with that one? Apparently starts for Granada today, so he goes straight into the team versus Granada. He's playing right now. You know, we've got a lot of wingers. That Sancho's going to come back in the summer. Then we have to find out what's happening.
Sancho's not coming back. They're selling him.
But I'm saying he's coming back to pre-season though. Like, they won't find the money straight away. You know what I mean? Like, Dortmund would have to find some avenues to sell a few players and find.
I'm sorry, bro. From the amount of money they made from Sancho, Bellingham, and Haaland, they better get their checkbook out.
Bro,
they better bring.
You know what? I don't know. I don't know. You know, like, you know, they you know, these, you know, the kind of people that they have money, yeah, but they always find a way to like act like they're broke.
It's like you know, when you go out with you got this. Everyone got that one cousin, yeah, or that. I'm not even gonna say siblings because my siblings ain't like this, but some of my cousins are like this. When you go out, yeah, and it's time to pay the bill, and everyone's just like, they're just all looking around like this. They're like, people will order a starter, a main, and a dessert. Yeah, and then they'll be like, "Let's split the bill." After you just ordered a main.
Oh my days! It's crazy. It's just crazy, honestly. Yeah, what happened to the picture frame? The picture frame is broken.
You broke it.
No, it broke.
You broke it.
Yeah, I broke it. Yeah, but say it's basically broke.
Well, like that clip, when I saw it, I had to go back and watch the last 10 minutes of that stream, because that reaction to the goal when United conceded it, that's how I react when I'm cutting onions. When my eyes water up and I
swear down.
That's how if you lot ever cut onions and you watch that video of Saeed's reaction to the third Wolves goal, then you will understand my pain. You will understand my pain because I was watching that cracking up laughing. One of my cousins sent it to me and was like, "Your boy's on crack." I was
yeah, it's crazy, honestly. Like,
so he's doing DIY live on stream. He's doing DIY live on stream, trying to put it back up.
Nah, it's not gonna stick on. It's one of them where one time stick only.
Yeah, you got to just.
It's gone. That. I need a new frame. Man. I need to go to the shops or something around here and find a new frame, man. You know what I'm saying? So. It is what it is, man.
That reaction was funny, but I think everyone felt the same way. Well, I think everyone felt the same way with that goal. But are you concerned about United, the goals that we concede, the rate at which we concede goals? Newport 2, Wolves 3. We got hammered non-stop in the champs.
Yeah. No, the goals. I don't know. I think the average goal we're conceding is 1.21. I think goal per game. I think it's something like that. Someone said it on Twitter yesterday. Someone said it, that's what the rate we're conceding. That's alarming, like conceding averaging over one of the big goals a game. Like, it's mad. And that for me can't keep continuing because you know it as well. We're always making that difficult for ourselves. I feel like it's one of them where tomorrow we may go down 1-0. I've got a feeling we go down 1-0 because I predicted 2-1, yeah. But I feel like we'll go down 1-0 and then we have to claw the game back again. That's what I'm saying. Like, is it 2-2 now? Luton game. Okay, say no more. 2-2. Right. I thought it was going to be dead fixtures today, I thought it was going to be dead. Like, I looked at the 3 p.m. games. I was like, can I do a watch along anywhere?
Fulham's winning, Brighton's winning. It's just Newcastle game. That's 2-2. That's it.
There you go. So,
but it is kind of...
Yeah, Burnley, by the way, that is so poor, Burnley. What?
Burnley and Sheffield is very embarrassing. Sheffield's on 10 points this season. They're on 10 points this season. And we scraped a 1-0 win against them earlier.
Both of them. Yeah, both of them. Oh, listen, our seasons we're finished, But yeah, listen, I feel like it's one of them where with the goals we're conceding, it's just lacks of concentration. We don't really control games as well for long periods as well. We don't finish our chances. That's a big thing as well. We're not finishing our
What do you think
chances.
that's down to, though? What do you think that's down to?
Obviously, a lot of them, are sometimes I think too selfish for me. I really do. I think some of them are too selfish. They all want the glory. Everyone wants the glory. Everyone wants to kind of, do it on their own. Everyone wants to kind of be the guy that I think Garnacho just always wants to score and get his name on the team sheet because it's one of them where if he can be the United's top scorer, then he's done his job, innit? Rashford's
He's
the
better on the
same.
right, though. I saw a stat.
Yeah, I've seen that
he
as
started
well.
playing on the right hand side from Sky Sports. I think it's from like Christmas time, and he's basically in the top 10 for like chances created, dribbles attempt, dribbles succeeded.
But then again, it's like you may see him one time play on the left. You know what I mean? Like it's one of them where
I think the right is his way going forward. There's no way Ten Hag
he
can
don't
just
want to
like
play on the
play
right
him on
though.
the left.
I'm telling you now, deep
He
down,
looks like
he
he's
wants to play on
enjoying
the right.
it. He looks like he's enjoying
He's
it.
enjoying it, but I think deep down he definitely wants to play on the left hand side though. I know he will say like I don't mind where I play, but if you asked him where would you want to play, he'll say on the left because he wants to cut in and shoot. Like players want to do that. They
No,
don't
I
because
think
when
he's
you're on the
enjoying
right,
it.
you've got to dribble towards a player. Like you may get him on the right hand side, but he dribbles inside. Like he doesn't dribble on the outside. He always like on the left hand side. He can do both. So I feel like in that aspect, he can do both in that regard. So yeah, I think for me, I look at him and I'm like, yeah, left hand side for me will be suited more better to him. But listen, when you're a youngster, you play where you're told, man. Like you know what I mean. You
That's
got
why
to
I
earn your
respect it.
stripes.
That's the difference. No disrespect to Rashford, but that's actually why I respect Garnacho a little bit because Rashford, if you remember the interview he did with Gary Neville
I
last
know, I
year,
know, I know, I know.
and he said, "I don't like to play on the right, and I don't like to play it up top." And he said that he struggles playing back to goal. Whereas players who will basically, I like the kind of players who will say, "I will play wherever the manager wants me to play."
Yeah,
Because you
yeah,
know that they're giving you 110%, whether they're playing on in their preferred position, left hand side, or if they're playing against, right through the middle in the 10, whatever. And Garnacho
yeah,
on the right, people say that it forces him to cross in more. I feel like he's a lot more comfortable
yeah,
dribbling and on the right hand side and playing a ball across the box. Yeah. In comparison to on the left hand side. I'm going to quickly go through some super chats. Big up to you lot.
yeah. Go for it. Go
Ibzy
for it.
says, I think we've conceded 50 goals already. We have. Onana, I genuinely believe he's the worst keeper in the league. I just hope we keep momentum. Also, Anthony is rubbish. We're going to talk about Onana. Big up to Michael says, great show, Mina and Saeed. As a gunner watching Man United, how does it feel that your most composed and assured player on the ball is Kobbie Mainoo, an 18-year-old? He's a gem of a player. Big up to you guys for the super chat. We've already spoken about Kobbie Mainoo. I'm very excited to see how it's jokes that he's 18 and he looks like the most comfortable player on the pitch.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
That's why I
is.
compare him to Bruno. I'm like that's why I'm saying like, I want Kobe to be the standard. And why is Bruno Fernandes not that? You know what I mean? And yeah, he's a different sort of player. He's a final third player, Bruno Fernandes. But come on, you've got to be better in terms of the way you keep the ball, man. You got to be, man. Like it's simple maths, man.
Leo Yo says Onana isn't the worst keeper in the league, but he ain't it. I think he's probably do you think he's the worst keeper in the top 6?
No, I think Dubravka's up there. I think, yeah, Dubravka's worse than him. Yeah, Dubravka. Like, but then again,
I remember Marcel saying last season Dubravka was better than De Gea. If you lot are from United view, you know what I'm talking about. Talking about Dubravka.
Yeah, that's his agenda against De Gea, though, isn't it?
Yeah, you lot know what I'm talking about. If you're from United view, but I think top 6 was Edison, Allison. Let's not even talk about that. Vicario. Yeah. Let's not talk about that. If somebody asked me today if I would take Pickford over Onana, would you?
No, but I'm saying like I'm just talking about who would you rather have? I say yeah, Pickford. But then again, I'm not gonna say I want Pickford as my keeper. But yeah, in that situation, yeah, I think Petrovic has been good. Big up Sophia. Petrovic is good, like he has shown that Petrovic is our cover. I know they bought Petrovic and whatnot from you, but Kova, you know what I'm saying? Like he could have been that guy. 23 years old. I would have not minded Kova for a couple of seasons while we find out who the next best keeper in the world. Like I wouldn't mind Kova. Well, would Kova been as bad as Onana? I don't think he would have been.
I would have given him a chance, but also I feel like, unfortunately, the academy to senior team pipeline under Ten Hag it's not It's not like Van Gaal. I don't know if you remember, but Van Gaal was giving debuts to everyone left, right, center. He's
Johnston,
like, you can have a debut, you can have a debut, you can have a debut.
Yeah,
Whereas
I know.
Ten Hag, I think Ten Hag comes into each season with the player that he wants from the academy. It was first year, it was Garnacho.
Yeah.
And then what happened last season, whilst Garnacho was being eased in, so was Kobe. Kobe made a few appearances early stages of the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. And then this season, if Kobe didn't get injured, he would have been an important part from the beginning of the season. And I think next season we will see who's that next player to come through. But I think it's a one and done kind of thing where academy to senior team pipeline is one and done under Ten Hag. Do you think that that's an issue in terms of giving, because under at Ajax, a big part of his selling idea when he came to United was integrating the academy, but also this playing style. Do you think that he's kind of failed with that?
Yeah, I think obviously the thing is the pressure though has obviously got to him a little bit in that aspect, because he would have probably wanted to kind of get more players in the first team. Like Fernandes would have been the one instead of getting Reguilon. Reguilon didn't make sense. He kind of got rid of Reguilon after 3 or 4 games. Alvaro Fernandes would have been an opportunity to give him that, but he didn't do that. Is what it is. Who else is in there? Midfield, he gave Hannibal a chance. Obviously, then ditched him after a little bit. So he's been a bit yo-yo-y in terms of he gives opportunities, but then he kind of like says, nah, we need to step away from that in that aspect, you know. And even the ones that come in, he has to be very, very meticulous. He won't just give like a lot of people are saying about Harry Amas and these players. I don't think he'll give them they won't be as quick into the first team as what like people like Garnacho and Greenwood are.
And Kobe, I think Kobe was. Kobe under 80. I remember watching him in the FA Cup, the youth final. He looked like he was already a senior player.
That's what I'm saying.
Like he was already a senior player.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. So like he'll only do that if it's, I think for me, if he feels like it's necessary. But if a new manager comes in next season and they want to do that, like if you look at the manager from Girona, he might do that if he comes into the job. But then
what do you mean if he comes in? Do you think United are going to sack Ten Hag and bring in a manager that's, I'm going to say it, worked on sporting projects rather than a proven winner? Because I was having this debate with Marcel the other day, and I said I would take a manager that has a proven track record of winning trophies. I don't want no project. I don't want no project. I don't want to buy into a project. I don't want Mourinho. I would have taken him this season. I would have taken him, and people cooked me. I got cooked on my stream, and I get cooked every time I say it. But I would have taken Jose Mourinho, just because for me, Jose Mourinho is a proven winner, and I feel like what he could have done with structure. Because when he was at Manchester United, everyone all we did was complain about the fact that he was getting his second, third, fourth choices.
Yeah.
If this new Ineos takeover, Umar Barada, all these man that they're bringing in, DOF under Jose, I think he could win stuff. I just think that Jose's style of football is a bit outdated, and I think football has kind of moved past that. But just from we need a mentality monster. That's what we need. We need a mentality monster when it comes to managers.
For real. No, you're spot on. You're actually spot on. You know what I mean? I think for me, when I look at the managers that we have right now, obviously Girona manager's there. I think Inter Milan manager is not getting spoke about a lot. I think he's someone that I really, really rate. But Jose Mourinho, I don't think the fan base are ready for that, Miller. I don't think they are. I don't think they're ready for Mourinho. I look at, for me, what United need. I don't think they need a long-term project. I think they need a manager for 2-3 years, and then we go forward. 2-3 years minimum. Like, we don't need. I don't want to be attached to a manager anymore. I want to be like Chelsea, man. Don't be attached to managers. You know what? They come and go. 2-3 years, they leave, they do a job. See you later. Another manager comes in, 2-3 years, do a job. If they win the Premier League, then obviously I don't mind them staying longer. But I just don't see United win the Premier League for the next 5 years. Like
that'll be 15 years from when we last won it. What is it now? 10 years now since we last won the Premier League?
10 years. We're in the 11th year now.
It's now the 11th year. So 16. Do you know how crazy that is? Just for some context, yeah. Half of my nephews and nieces weren't even born the last time that United won a Premier League. So by the next time, it could be.
Yeah, shall I show you? 1 second.
Do you know what I remember? You know what's jokes? I remember where I was when we last won the Premier League, and a lot has happened in my life since then. So if you're telling me I have to wait another 5-6 years for United to win a Premier League, I don't think I could do that. I don't think I could do that. But I agree with you in the fact that United need, because I feel like what the idea of Ten Hag is something like a Klopp or a Pep, where it's a long-term project. It's a 8, 9, 10 year kind of idea to have him for a long term. I think United just need someone to come in, reinstate winning values, and win a trophy.
There we was. The last time we won the league.
I'm dead. You didn't have a high top then.
Yeah, it was like a low top. But yeah, that was me after the game. Went to the game, Swansea, and then yeah.
That's a long time. That is, a lot has happened. And you're saying you don't see United winning something for another 5 years? Then
5 years, yeah. No, Premier League. Because I just don't know if we have the consistency. Yeah, we don't have the consistency for that. I don't see it. I don't see us having the consistency for it. You know, to be titled, you have to be mentally strong. I remember on the Fergie, there was days I was like, oh man, I don't think we're going to do it this year. And then all of a sudden, Christmas time comes in. Fergie's like, yo, we're going in. Boom. We buy a player in January or something. And then we sweep it. We sweep it. So, you know, it's one of them where it's going to be tough. Like Liverpool went, look, Arsenal are now, how many years now? 20?
I think it's 20 years, nearly 20 years. It must be.
Oh, yeah. It's 19. Yeah. 19 years. So 20 this year. 2004, the last time they won the league. Was it 2004?
Yeah.
Yeah, so 20 years. 20 years.
So that could, if that's the idea of the route we're heading, where do you think, what's the route that you see us heading for the season? Because I think top 4 is gone. I don't think that's a race.
You know what it is though? A lot of people are getting excited. I've seen Twitter accounts now saying we're only 6 points. If we win, we're going to be 6 points behind Tottenham. You know what I mean? Like this account here, he says Man United could go 6 points off 4th place Tottenham with a win against West Ham. You still know that's a lot, yeah, with United then having to win games and then they lose and lose and lose.
That's it. But that's jokes because you're basically relying on another team to drop points.
Yeah, and then
there's no guarantee that you win. There's no guarantee that United will win. That is what makes me laugh the most, is that there's been times, I think a couple seasons ago when we missed out on top 4. I remember there was times where people would drop points and then we'd be like, oh yeah, we just have to win, and then we draw or we lose and we're out of the top 4 race.
Tottenham have got 2 home games coming up now. 2 home games coming up. Then they got Chelsea. No, Chelsea's been postponed, so they don't play Chelsea. So
Tottenham are winning that anyways.
Yeah,
Tottenham are winning that game against Chelsea.
Crystal Palace. Then they got Villa away. They got Fulham. Their April's looking a bit good for them. You know, April's tough. Oh shit! April and May, Tottenham. They've got Newcastle away. They've got Man City at home. They've got Tottenham and Arsenal in the derby. They've got Liverpool away.
Damn, they got
their last 2 games are. But their last 2 games are Tottenham versus Burnley and Sheffield United versus Tottenham.
At that point, I think Burnley and Sheffield will probably be relegated at that point.
Relegated.
They'll probably be relegated at that point. So they just have to.
Let me just check everybody's fixtures. So are we agreeing here that Arsenal, Tottenham, so Arsenal, Man City, and Liverpool are in the top 3, regardless of where they finish?
Who do you think's winning the league?
Still Man City.
I think Liverpool's winning it. I would want
Liverpool.
It's crazy because I would say I would want Arsenal to win it, but I hate Arsenal.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but I prefer Arsenal.
They're not going to win it.
Yeah,
they're not going to win it. So
I prefer Arsenal to win it.
We can agree on then 3, yeah.
Those
so
3,
people say, yeah, more or less, yeah. So okay, let's say there's, but I don't understand this. Yeah, people are saying there's 5 positions for this Champions League, but it means that Liverpool have to win it or get far. Aston Villa have to win it or get far, and Brighton have to win it or get far, right? For us coefficients to work in our favor.
It's this coefficient nonsense.
But then again, Spain have got how many teams in the Champions League?
Spain, I think, have the highest number of players in Europe. The highest number of teams in the European leagues.
There you go. Even Italy have got a couple of teams in there as well. So, I don't understand this top 5 nonsense, man. I'm just gonna go with top 4 for now, yeah. So that means there's 1 position left, one
More
position. So,
how many teams are fighting for that position?
Sorry.
How many teams are going to be fighting for that? It's going to be United, it's going to be West Ham, Brighton.
Newcastle, whether you like it or not, I still think Newcastle will get into a gear and they will somehow find their way into that top 4 battle. I think it's Tottenham, United, listen, I'm saying United because I still think a lot of people expect United to at least fight for top 4.
Yeah.
Tottenham, United, and Villa. That's what I'm looking at now. If I look at Villa's fixtures, right? Villa have got Sheffield United today, right? Then they've got United next weekend. They've got Fulham away, Forest, Luton. They've got some easy fixtures, I'm not gonna lie to you. Then they got Tottenham away. They got West Ham away, Villa at home.
United still have to play. United still have to play City. United still have to play Liverpool. We have to play Arsenal. We have to play Newcastle. We have to play Brighton. That's the top 6 or big 6, whatever you want to call it, including Newcastle. So United still have a lot of games to play. But this is a question I ask, and I want to know your standpoint in terms of European football next year.
Yeah.
Would you rather, if United finish outside of the top 4, are you for Europa League or Conference League? Because I'd rather see United in the Conference League.
Yeah, rather nothing. I'd rather finish 8th.
You'd rather finish 8th than to be in
Europa.
I wouldn't mind Europa, but Conference League, nah.
No, not honestly. Both of them. I'd rather have a clean season, fresh season. I just can't do Europa League, man. I cannot. I don't want to do Sunday football as well. Sunday this, Sunday that. Like, it's long. Like, I'm tired. Like, Sundays, I want to chill. I want to relax Sundays, But yeah, not for me. Not for me. I'd rather avoid Europa League. But that is going to be a possibility. If 5th doesn't become available, that's 5th, 6th for Europa League, 7th for the Conference League. So
it'll be interesting. Let's quickly talk about the West Ham game before we wrap it up. Obviously, tomorrow.
Yeah.
You said that you're feeling a bit nervous, but do you think United going to get the job done? Because I think the difficult thing for United this season has been consistency, like in back-to-back games. That's my only worry.
Facts. I think that's my worry as well, is the consistency in that aspect. Can we get consistent in that regards? I don't know. I just look at it in that aspect of, can we be consistent? Can we find a result? Can we do this? Can we do that? Relying on other teams. I just don't know, with United. I just don't know. And in the game tomorrow, it's like low blocks. United against low blocks, man. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't know what United are going to be like on the low blocks, So, I don't even know what to say tomorrow. I just hope just let us down. Don't let us down. Like, that's all I want, United. Get back-to-back wins, keep on going, and then, let's see where the season takes us. But ultimately, us getting this top 5, is it like I said to you, what did people want this season? I always picked United to be in top 4, but
what did you want this season? What did you say coming into the season?
I think I said 3rd. To be honest with you, I said 3rd.
I said 3rd and in and around the title.
No, I didn't say title. I said 3rd. I was like, cool, and then get me a trophy as well. But thing is, for me, it's like I also said that I wanted to see a better style of football, and I haven't seen that. So that's where my kind of biggest kind of gripe is with this team, is that I haven't seen a better style of football. And that for me is bigger sometimes than finishing 5th. It generally is. Like, sometimes when you're not finishing in the top 4, I'm like, oh, well, really and truly, like, I'm happy here, but I'm not happy at the same time. You feel me? So
I just don't get how people can feel like United shouldn't have been coming into the season. We're not psychic in it. We didn't anticipate the injuries, but after spending 400 million, I think expecting to be in and around the title race and a trophy is realistic. I think that's the bare minimum.
That's what I'm saying to you. That's what I'm saying. Like, what's this over celebration? And that's what my thing is. But also, the way we've got to this situation as well, it's a lot of drummings, a lot of losses, a lot of bad results. Like, we can't be like, we got Man City coming up soon. The way as well we get to top 4 as well, it's I don't really like it as well, man. Like, you have to suffer, man, and then you get the odd wins here and there. I'm like, nah, not buying it. I
think it's just not been a comfortable season. And for me, like, going into tomorrow's game against West Ham, I don't know what to expect.
Last season, how many losses did we have last season?
We had, I know that in the Premier League, in November or in December, we matched our tally of losses in the Premier League than we had last season.
We had 9 losses to get to 3rd last season.
And we've already got how much now? We're on 9, I think.
We're on 9 already now, yeah. We're on 9 already.
We're on 9 losses. In the next 5 games, who do you see United dropping points? We got West Ham, we got Villa, Fulham, Luton, and then City.
I think every game's tough game. I think every game we just have to
Well, like the
isolate.
standards are in the mud. If you're
Yeah.
saying that every game is a tough game, we are.
Every game's a tough game. Every game is a tough game. Every game. Every game's a tough game.
So
Yeah, big up
you
Saeed.
out of those 5 games, or just in February, for example, we're 3 out of 15 so far. How do you see us finishing for the month?
Well, we're unbeaten in February for a while, you know. I'm gonna say, I don't know. West Ham, we should win, but again, I don't know. I can't really commit to results. I just gotta see how we play tomorrow. Then go to Villa away, which will be tough. Then go to, you know, what's that team? Luton. That'll be tough as well under the lights. You know, every game's tough. I can't really predict anything at the minute. Can't really predict anything at all.
Quickly, just from Taylor says, I think the manager is holding this team back to perform to its fullest. Last season, most players were on form / purple patches throughout the season, especially Rashi, Casemiro, etc. Do you agree with that? Do you think the manager is holding people back to performing to the fullest?
No, I think it's one of them where, listen, the manager will play you through bad form as well, like, and he wants something from you. Sometimes you might not get that in return, and he has to understand that and give other people opportunities. So that's what Ten Hag doesn't understand, but he got to learn soon, because, you know, if you don't get top 5, then that's him done. You know what I mean?
Because you're saying in Ten Hag, if Ten Hag does get sacked, I remember that we did a stream a couple of weeks back, or I think it was actually in 2023, where you were saying you gave your list of managers,
to
replace Ten Hag.
Yeah.
Is that still pretty much the same? The Zerbi, and because I've got my opinion.
No. Hansi Flick was my first choice. Hansi Flick. So I would still say Hansi Flick first. Then I'll go with the Girona, Simeone of that kind of world in that regards.
So you'd go for Simeone from Atletico.
Simeone from
from Girona.
Inter.
Oh, from Inter. Inzaghi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Inzaghi. Yeah.
Inzaghi,
Then you got the Girona manager as well. Girona manager, watch out for him. I think with the Barada links, he could be a City group. You know, he could want him because apparently he's, or you might get De Zerbi, because I think City were looking at getting him, and maybe Omar Barada's always been a long-term admirer of him. So
I'm on the opposite side of you. If the manager has not proven one stuff, I don't want United to touch them with a barge pole. And just because because I feel like if United were to go for this Girona manager, if they were to go for Simeone, whoever it is, De Zerbi, for example, I feel like 2 seasons in, we would literally be sitting here having the same conversation about the manager, saying, "Oh, what has that manager won? Why did we bring them in? Oh, we're not winning stuff." And blah, blah. I genuinely feel like right now United need to get into a position where they just bring someone in just to win stuff, just to win some sort of silverware. And when I say silverware, I don't mean, unfortunately, the Carabao Cup. I mean FA Cup, Champions League, Premier League. A big trophy, and then move on from that and be like, okay, now we can go and continue with the sporting project. And, you know, now that we've kind of settled the team and we've settled, you know, the atmosphere and the dressing room and everything, then we can go out and bring a manager. But this whole idea of signing a manager like De Zerbi, I'll be honest, I think De Zerbi is a good manager, but it's similar to the Potter situation, where I think, you know, managing Brighton and managing a big club is two different. There's levels to this.
Yeah, you know what's mad as well? It's the fact that, you know, with the De Zerbi situations, that he couldn't do what he does at Brighton here in terms of like just lose and then be like, yo, it's called good. Like, yeah, he can't be losing 3-4-0. He's had a few spankings this season. Like, he's had a few batterings. He had a few batterings this season. Aston Villa here, and then a couple of others as well. Like, you know, so he's had a few batterings this season. So he's got to be careful.
Would you take Potter?
I don't think he's as bad as what people say, though. I can't lie to you. I still think he's a good manager, but pressure, I don't think he can handle the pressure. I don't think he can handle the intensity of what it means to be a Man United manager. I really don't. I don't think he can do that. I really don't.
I hear it. Big up, man. Result tomorrow, prediction?
2-1.
2-1. Who's scoring?
I'm going to go with Højlund and Rashford.
That's a brave call. You're saying Rashford's going to score back-to-back games. Højlund's going to score 4 and 4. We'll see, man. Big up to everyone. You guys know what it is. Be sure to hit the like button on your way out. Let's try to get to 150 or even 200 on this stream. As always, we'll be back with Saeed sometime next week after what? We play West Ham, then we play Villa. So we'll probably be back after that to kind of chop it up. Be sure to hit the like button, guys. Be sure to subscribe. You can join the membership club. It's the pinned comment in the chat. You get your badges, you get your emojis, you get your custom member content. Big up to those that sent in super chats. I appreciate it. I'll be back in about 45 minutes for Ivory Coast versus Mali watch along quarterfinals AFCON. You guys know what it is. Big up to Saeed, as always. Appreciate having you on, and you lot know what it is. On your way out, hit the like button. Simple as that. Until next time, guys. Peace.